Most people think diabetes begins with breakfast, that it's the sugary cereal, the white bread at lunch, or the dessert after dinner that puts them most at risk. But what if I told you? The quiet start of diabetes often happens at night while you're sleeping, without a single symptom to warn you.
Ah yes, Dr. Gray. After 60, the body becomes far more delicate. Hormones shift, nerves slow, the way we process sugar changes, even if we feel perfectly normal during the day.
So someone might think they're doing everything right, eating carefully, going for walks, maybe even taking medications. But in the silent hours of the night, tiny choices or tiny mistakes can quietly build up damage.
That's right. Most people overlook how their body resets overnight. It's like a shop closing to do repairs. If we disrupt that, blood sugar creeps up, cells stop listening to insulin, and over time, independence slips away.
And that's the real fear, isn't it? Not just higher numbers on a lab report, but losing the freedom to live life on your own terms.
Exactly. I've seen patients who looked healthy on the outside, then one small cut on the foot doesn't heal, or eyes start to blur, or they find themselves too weak to carry groceries. Often it began years before, with small, overlooked habits at night.
So today, with Japan's oldest practicing doctor here, still treating patients past 100, we'll explore 5 tiny nighttime habits that could quietly protect your blood sugar, or quietly ruin it.
And the beautiful part is, none of this requires pills, grueling exercise, or drastic diets. Just gentle shifts you can start tonight. So lean in and perhaps take a note or two, because your body listens while you sleep.
All right, Dr. Hinohara, let's dive into the first small nighttime habit that could quietly steer someone toward diabetes, even if they're eating well and staying active during the day.
Yes, and this one surprises many. It's skipping dinner altogether or eating too early, then going to bed hours later with an empty stomach.
That feels so backwards to me, because we've all heard the advice. Don't eat late. It's bad for your weight, bad for digestion.
Indeed, that's a popular belief, and for young, robust bodies it might work fine. But after 60, everything changes. Our insulin becomes less responsive. If we go too long without eating, especially overnight, blood sugar can dip too low. Then the body panics, releases cortisol to raise sugar back up. And that cortisol spike doesn't just interrupt sleep. Over time, it teaches cells to ignore insulin.
So the body's trying to save itself from low sugar at 2 a.m., but ends up training itself toward insulin resistance.
Exactly. I once had a retired professor patient, so disciplined. Early dinners at 5 p.m., strict about no snacks, in bed by 9. But she kept waking at 2 or 3 a.m., restless, foggy in the morning. Her labs showed creeping fasting glucose. We added a tiny snack, a few nuts, a spoon of yogurt, about an hour before bed. Within weeks, her sleep deepened, her morning glucose actually dropped.
That's incredible. So instead of starving, it's about stability.
Yes. A gentle evening snack sends the body a message. You're safe, you're supported. No need to flood with stress hormones tonight. After 60, stability matters far more than strict restriction.
So for anyone listening, maybe you pride yourself on early dinners and long fasting windows. If you're waking in the night or seeing your morning glucose creep up, it could be your body pleading for steadiness.
Exactly. And a small handful of almonds, a piece of boiled egg, or even warm milk with a dash of cinnamon can do wonders. Nothing heavy, just enough to keep the night calm.
Beautiful. So that's our first small shift. Don't go to bed on empty. What's next on your list, Doctor? What's another overlooked evening habit that could quietly push someone toward diabetes?
The second habit, Dr. Gray, is one I see everywhere in the world, especially among retirees who finally feel free to stay up when they like. It's irregular sleep timing. Going to bed at 9 one night, midnight the next, waking early on weekdays but sleeping in on weekends.
I'll admit, that's me sometimes. I justify it by thinking as long as I get my 7 or 8 hours of total, it's fine, right?
That's the myth. The body isn't just tracking how much sleep you get, it deeply cares about when. Think of your metabolism like a symphony. Each hormone is an instrument: cortisol, melatonin, insulin, leptin. If you keep shifting your bedtime, the instruments start playing out of tune.
So, even if I'm technically sleeping enough, the internal orchestra becomes chaotic. Tenure.
Exactly. And studies show this chaos lowers insulin sensitivity. One major study followed adults over 60. Those with the most irregular sleep schedules, even if their total hours were the same, had significantly higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes.
That's incredible. We usually blame diet, sugar, weight, not bedtime. So someone could be eating perfectly, walking daily, yet their pancreas is struggling simply because they sleep at random hours.
Yes, and I've seen it countless times. A patient tells me, "Doc, I eat clean, I exercise, my weight is steady. Why is my glucose climbing?" We look closer, and their sleep times are scattered. Once they pick a consistent bedtime and wake time, even on weekends, their numbers often stabilize.
It's so gentle a solution. No pills, no harsh diets, just honoring the body's natural clock.
Precisely. A regular rhythm is a quiet form of medicine. So if you're listening, ask yourself, do I sleep at wildly different times each night? Because fixing that might be one of the simplest ways to protect your sugar and your independence.
That's 2 habits so far. Don't starve through the night, and keep your bedtime like a promise. What's next, Doctor? I have a feeling it's something most people completely overlook.
The third habit, Dr. Gray, is one almost nobody thinks about. It's going to bed slightly dehydrated. Many older adults stop drinking water after dinner, fearing they'll have to wake up to use the bathroom.
I've absolutely heard that. Patients tell me, if I drink after 7, I'll be up twice at night. So they avoid water entirely.
Yes, and it sounds logical, but here's what they don't realize. Even mild dehydration makes the blood a bit thicker. That means the heart has to work harder to pump it. Circulation slows, and insulin struggles to reach cells effectively.
So your blood literally becomes a bit more sluggish, and that impacts how well sugar is processed.
Exactly. I had a retired carpenter patient, always active, strong hands even in his 70s, but his morning glucose began creeping up. Diet was fine, weight stable. We dug deeper. He barely drank in the evening, said he wasn't thirsty. When we added gentle hydration throughout the day, plus a small mug of warm herbal tea about an hour before bed, his morning glucose improved, and surprisingly, he even slept deeper.
That's incredible. And it makes sense. Your kidneys, liver, every organ that helps regulate blood sugar needs proper fluid. It's like trying to rinse dishes without enough water.
Beautiful analogy. And we're not talking about chugging glasses right before bed. That would wake anyone. Just a small warm tea or half a glass of water an hour before sleep supports circulation, helps your body detox gently overnight.
I've noticed it myself. On nights I skip my usual chamomile, I sometimes wake groggier, maybe with a slight headache. Never connected it to mild dehydration affecting blood sugar.
Most people don't. They blame age, stress, or the weather. But often it's something as simple as the body lacking the gentle fluid it needs to keep blood moving to help insulin do its quiet work.
So, to everyone listening, take note. The fix isn't extreme. Just steady hydration through your day, and perhaps a soothing cup before bed. Doctor, that's 3 surprisingly gentle shifts so far. What's the 4th? I'm guessing it might involve something we all cling to. Our screens.
Yes, Dr. Gray. The 4th habit is one of the most modern and, in my view, most quietly dangerous. It's exposing ourselves to screens, televisions, phones, tablets, in the hour before sleep.
You know that hits home. So many of my patients say, I unwind with a show or I scroll through news in bed. It feels harmless, like a little personal time.
It feels harmless, but your body treats light as a powerful signal, especially blue light. It tells your brain it's still daytime, stay alert. Then suppresses melatonin, the hormone that doesn't just help you fall asleep, but also regulates how your body uses glucose.
So melatonin isn't just about feeling sleepy. It's tied directly to blood sugar.
Exactly. Harvard researchers did a study. Adults exposed to bright light before bed had reduced insulin sensitivity the very next morning, after just one night. It's remarkable how quickly the body responds to these signals.
So someone could have a perfectly healthy dinner, go for an evening walk, and then ruin their blood sugar overnight just by watching a brightly lit TV show right before bed?
That's it. Or checking news headlines in bed, which often brings stress, compounding the problem. I always tell my patients, the light you allow into your eyes at night shapes your hormones by morning.
That's such a simple yet profound image. Your evening light becomes your morning blood sugar.
Exactly. So what's the gentle fix? About an hour before bed, begin dimming lights. Turn off bright screens. Read a paper book or listen to soft music. Let your body ease into its natural rhythm, telling your pancreas and liver it's time to rest and repair.
It's amazing. We chase new diets, expensive supplements, and all along it might just be about turning off a lamp, picking up a novel.
Yes, gentle shifts. That's the art of aging well.
So far, we've covered 4 habits that seem almost too small to matter, but each one reshapes how the body repairs itself overnight. Doctor, I know there's still a 5th habit you see all the time. I've been waiting for this one, because I think it's something most of us overlook completely.
So the 5th and final habit is perhaps the most overlooked. Yet I believe it's the thread that ties all the others together. It's going to bed with mental tension, worry, rumination, unfinished thoughts.
That's so interesting, because most people think of stress only as a daytime thing. Deadlines, bills, arguments. But lying in bed replaying conversations or scrolling worrying news can't possibly be that serious, can it?
It can. Even mild mental stress keeps your body on alert. Your nervous system stays slightly in fight or flight, which means cortisol remains elevated. And as we've said, cortisol is designed to raise blood sugar. It tells your body to keep fuel circulating just in case you need to run.
So you might be lying perfectly still under the covers, but inside, your system is bracing as if it's under threat.
Exactly. I had a retired school teacher, wonderful diet, walked daily, normal weight, yet her fasting glucose was creeping up. When we looked closely, every night she was watching crime dramas, reading heated political news, sometimes answering stressful emails in bed. Her mind was wired. Her body stayed primed for action, even while she slept.
So you might be lying perfectly still under the covers. But inside, your system is bracing as if it's under threat.
Beautifully put. Once we changed her routine, 15 minutes of light stretching, slow breathing, jotting down thoughts so they'd stop circling in her head. Her morning glucose dropped by nearly 20 points within weeks. 8 shop stir.
That's incredible. And it makes perfect sense. The brain and pancreas aren't separate. If the mind doesn't rest, the body can't fully restore.
Yes, it's the difference between sending your body to bed in calm versus chaos. Because while you sleep, your organs are still hard at work repairing blood vessels, processing glucose. If they're flooded with stress signals, they can't do that job properly.
It's amazing how something so gentle, a pen, a bit of movement, could shift blood sugar more than any pill.
Exactly. And when we come back in a moment, I'd love to gently pull all 5 of these habits together so you can see how they weave a safety net for your health quietly overnight.
So to everyone listening, reflect for a moment. What are you feeding your mind in that last hour before sleep? Because it becomes a message your cells carry into the night. So, Doctor, let's pause and gather these threads. Because what strikes me most is how quiet these risks are. Not big meals, not wild sugar binges, but tiny, overlooked habits in the soft hours of the night that can either protect or undermine someone's health after 60.
Yes, and that's why so many people miss them. They look at their breakfast, their lunch, even their weight, but rarely question what their body is experiencing between 9 p.m. and 6 a.m.
So let's walk through them once more, almost like a gentle checklist. Are you skipping dinner? Or eating so early that by midnight your body panics from low sugar? Are your sleep hours scattered, 9 p.m. some nights, midnight on others? Do you avoid a small cup of tea out of fear of the bathroom, not realizing your blood might be running a bit too thick? Are bright screens, phones, tablets, TVs, telling your brain to stay awake, to keep melatonin low and blood sugar unstable? And lastly, is your mind wound tight with news, worries, to-do lists that follow you under the covers?
That's it. None of these alone might seem catastrophic, but together, night after night, they quietly train your body toward insulin resistance. It's like tiny drips wearing away a stone.
I love that image. But the hopeful part, and I hope everyone listening really lets this in, is that these are gentle shifts, not drastic overhauls.
Exactly. A small evening snack to steady sugar, a consistent bedtime, a warm cup to support hydration, dimmed lights to honor melatonin, and a calm mind. These aren't restrictions, they're invitations to treat the night as the body's sacred repair time.
So maybe tonight you pick just one, maybe tomorrow you try 2. Because the goal isn't just avoiding diabetes, it's preserving freedom to walk, to shop, to laugh, to dance, without fear. So dear friends listening, what's one small change you'll try tonight? Maybe it's a handful of nuts before bed, maybe it's shutting off that glowing screen, or simply writing down your worries so they don't follow you under the covers.
Because your body listens while you sleep. Give it calm. Give it gentle signals, and it will repay you with more mornings full of steady feet, clear eyes, and the simple joy of walking where your heart wants to go.
We'd truly love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below. Share what spoke to you most, or what you'll experiment with this week. And if this brought you a bit of ease or hope, we'd be honored if you'd join us again.
Next time, we'll explore how the first hour of your morning can quietly build on these nighttime habits to protect your blood sugar all day long. Until then, take gentle care.